It's the week after D23, Disney's big expo that is supposed to let you know and investors know that everything is just grand. And yet, this has been a week of bad news, the types of which most companies cannot possibly stand. Today, we will tell you the latest in what has been the epitome, the maximum of all dismal Disneys we've ever seen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, the place that explains entertainment, keeps you ahead of the culture curve, and we have conversations where we truly care about the subject matter in which we are discussing. Joining us today for a discussion is Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter for ThatParkPlace.com and the YouTube channel That Park Place. Jonas, how are you?
I'm doing all right here. I had a nightmare last night in which I was the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. There was a knock on the door, and I open it up, and there's all these small, shadowy figures, and one of them takes off the mask here, and he's in felt, and he says, "It's time to meet the Muppets, Bob."
Yes, time to meet. Anyway, we'll leave that. Some people are not having a good time with the Muppets either. That might come up in a moment. We'll see. We'll see. But yes, everywhere you look, Jonas, every possible place with Disney, things are disastrous this week. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. We're taking a look at the stock right now, and the stock is down over the past week or so. But it's down 60%-ish in the past 3 years. That's a problem. But, D23 was supposed to lift this company up. They put out the Snow White trailer. It's one of the most historically disliked trailers in the history of YouTube movie trailers. I mean, that's something, isn't it? And Jonas, it's reaching a 10-to-1 ratio of dislike. Rachel Zegler then, deciding that wasn't enough, she came out and made a post about geopolitics in a way that probably would insult her co-star greatly. By the way, Jonas, just looking, it's now a 10-to-1 dislike to like ratio. I called it.
Oh my goodness!
It's now 10-to-1.
That's a lot of people disliking something. It would help if there was something in this trailer to latch onto to say, no, that's going to be the good part. Really, I think everyone, this is so emblematic of the whole company right now. Everyone's just sick of these live action remakes and perhaps sick of these entitled actors.
But Jonas, this would be enough to be the major story that, would drive the news for a week. We're talking about a company that yesterday I did a video about how they're trying to get out of a wrongful death lawsuit by claiming that the husband of the deceased had a trial Disney Plus account in 2019. We are talking about a company, Jonas, that announced their giant expansion in Disney World, but hid where it was going because they knew that it would get booed and they would be booed off the stage by their biggest fans, dropping thousands of dollars to be there. So they hid it, and then when they put it out, people went apoplectic on them. You even have the pixie dusting websites, and I'm not trying to be mean to Laughing Place. We love Laughing Place. But even Laughing Place is calling it a loss of Magic Kingdom. And they try to put the best spin on it they can and say, well, it's got to be great. And I'm like, well, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, by the way, the week following D23, has been down every single day this week at various times, Jonas. At various times, Tiana's Busted Adventure has been down a week straight of not working. So, Jonas, what has worked for Disney this week? That's what I'm confused about. What has worked?
I'm trying to think what it's been. Is it Bo DeMaio getting on Twitter and telling people what's going on there, and Disney having to get
tell
up
the audience about that one? No, tell Jonas. Tell them about it. They don't know yet. What do you got?
Bo DeMaio is getting on Twitter and talking about his firing, from not just his firing, but also the incidents after he was fired. That he posted something for Pride Month, and I disagree with what he posted. It was fan art of basically, I think it's someone who's supposed to be him wearing the Cyclops costume, except none of the blue. It's just the underwear and the strap and the glasses.
Totally normal.
And he posted that to Instagram, and then Marvel reached out to him the next day and said, "We're taking your credits off of season 2 because of this post." That's what DeMaio alleges. There's so many rumors coming out about what he was doing. So for Disney to come out and say that what he was fired for was egregious, they usually don't address things like this. So I think that there's another shoe about to drop on whatever this conversation was. despite the quality of his work, it sounds like he was going over the line.
Well, and Disney would be as hesitant and as reticent as possible to not talk about this because he clicks every box of what they want, supposedly, but apparently he was doing some really bad things he shouldn't have been doing. That's what they say. But Jonas, they went for a year without saying anything until they were basically forced to come out finally and be like, okay, here's what's going on actually. But man, I've never seen a company have this many fires all across, everything to do with the company is just not working.
Well, and
maybe you could say Marvel, but Marvel has a terrible 2025 that they have to survive.
Right, and we've shed light on the fact that even though they say that streaming is profitable, it's not profitable because of Disney Plus. Disney Plus combined with Hulu, which we think Hulu is actually profitable here. That the thing that is supposed to be quote unquote saving the company here, Disney Plus, is actually quite in the hole, and they're trying to hide it behind everything else. On top of the fact that in order to make it profitable, they have to spend another $5 billion and give it to their biggest competitor, who's just going to turn around and use it to build another theme park for them. I don't know a part of this company that is functioning the way that it should, except for cruise lines. And it sounds like they're going to go hard into cruise lines.
Well, okay, so let me ask you about this then, Jonas. So we are at D23. We are the week thereafter. Everything about D23 is supposed to be this glowing, tremendous exposition of what we're going to be seeing over the next years from Disney. It's supposed to set up, just how marvelous this company is. It's supposed to inspire fans, but also quell any unrest in investors. And yet they've had the worst week I've seen flat out in the week after D23. How did they fail with the messaging this badly? How did things go this wrong that the week that they're supposed to most be involved in crafting the message around the company, it's been this bad? How did it go this way?
I think that they have assumed that their diehard fans are the same as general audiences for a very long time. That the people who can afford to go to Anaheim for a weekend and spend big dollars to go to a fan event, by the way, no children whatsoever in there, that they think that is the people that are actually driving most of what made this company great from a financial
standpoint. I don't mean to interrupt, and I know I have sort of a penchant for doing so, but we can't lose that point. Can you tell everybody out there, what do you think the symbolism of that is, that at D23, it's no kids allowed for Disney?
I just think it's indicative of who they are as a company. Now, this used to be a company that was all about the older and the younger interacting together at the theme park, as in the older and younger within the same family interacting at the theme park. Don't want to get the wrong idea about any of that. And now it's essentially priced to the point where if the older are going to do it, they better be pretty well off, and if the younger are going to do it, they're going to do it at the pleasure of the older people. And there's nothing there for the younger people, but they're really hitting hard on that midsection, the dual income, no kids, the people who don't have any responsibility. So they have a lot of disposable income, and they're putting bars into the parks, and they're putting high dollar after hours events into the parks. And they're trying not to offend the easily offendable, which is, well, also in that age range.
So, Jonas, they're also cultural arsonists. I don't know if you've seen this. This is the new change they've made to the Peter Pan ride at Disney. And we've known for a while they really wanted to get rid of Tiger Lily and her father and the depictions of the Native Americans in Neverland, the Neverland tribe, as they call them now. But this is what they've replaced it with. And what's funny to me is that they have made these I guess, the Neverland tribe look the way they have. They've missed the boat in this regard. All of the adults in Neverland always look grotesque, and it has nothing to do with race. Like Mr. Smee looks like a grown infant, right? And he's a pale skinned fella. But they've missed the mark, because in the story of Peter Pan, Peter sees adults in that way. That's how he sees growing up. And so that's how it's depicted in Neverland, that adulthood is a grotesque thing. Yet here we have the Neverland tribe filled with adults, and they're lovely people. So Peter and his view of adulthood now completely thrown under the bus because DEI and virtue signaling comes first in this company. They don't even understand the stories they tell. And I suspect most people won't either. That it'll go over their heads. But it's just funny to me that there was a genius behind the movie, originally, that all the adults look, monstrous because that's how Peter sees growing up. And this is a company now that I think in large part looks sort of monstrous. I mean, nothing they're doing is coming across well for most people. I mean, how can you be reaching historic levels of dislike for the movie that made you? And you're going to remake the movie that made you in your own new image, and it is historically disliked. It is the ultimate symbolism of a company that has totally lost its way.
And I'll also point out, even though I know it's very unpopular when I do, that Deadpool is the most successful thing out of the Disney company over the last little while right here. So if they can't get Snow White right, and Deadpool is out there also in the park saying things that are probably inappropriate to say in front of children, this really speaks to a shift that Disney either doesn't realize or hasn't let everyone know how much their audience has changed here.
That would definitely be true. Jonas, what did you make of the story, though, about Disney trying to get out of the wrongful death lawsuit by claiming that the husband of the deceased once had a Disney Plus trial account? Because I thought that was the one where I finally said, okay, we've now reached levels of evil.
Right.
What did you make of that?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, inside every Disney Plus terms and conditions, there is an agreement to arbitration, third-party arbitration.
So
and it says that you basically agree to never sue the Disney company as part of a class or as part of an individual. This came out also if you apply for DAS, which we've been covering DAS pretty frequently on That Park Place, the channel. It's also in there. So they're saying that this man whose wife died of anaphylaxis an hour after she ate at a restaurant at Disney Springs. Well, because he had a Disney Plus free subscription back in November of 2019, he agreed to arbitration at the time.
So terrible.
And there's no notation on whether or not he continued to have a Disney Plus subscription. So receiving that free trial in 2019, they're saying gives them impunity as far as not, he can't sue them at this point. And the fact that he logged into the My Disney Experience app and bought Epcot tickets for a different day. By the way, they were at Disney Springs again, which is not on Epcot. But because they went to Epcot and because he logged into My Disney Experience and said that he was responsible for her, that he agreed that everyone in his party could not sue Disney because he got a free trial to Disney Plus in November of 2019. That is so far-reaching. I just think about the fact that Comcast, Disney's largest and most comparable competitor right now, is essentially a monopoly in the areas in which they operate because they are a utility. So if a utility puts language like that in there, does that mean that if something horrible happens at a Universal theme park, that they cannot be sued? I think that if the judge allows that language to go unchallenged, then this creates an incredible problem in the United States, all because Disney Plus put arbitration language in their agreement and decided to use it for a wrongful death lawsuit that they should have just paid out and let it go away.
Yeah, and maybe Disney, isn't even liable for this, but the way to defend yourself against it is not, oh, well, you signed up for a Disney Plus trial account in 2019 that you never used. I mean, that's insane. So it's been an insane week for Disney. There's going to be some defense, though, Jonas. We're gonna hear soon that Universal's attendance is dropping, and specifically Universal in Orlando, and that's going to be true. But that's going to be the defense that's going to come out. I just want to get ahead of it, Jonas. The reason that's going to happen is what we've said all along. This is not unpredicted. People will be waiting until Epic Universe opens to go on their big vacation to Universal now. So you'll see a decline in attendance as people get ready to wait to go to Universal when the big new park is there. That is a very normal kind of situation that you see every time a park is opened at a major resort. It doesn't happen often anymore, but back a decade or more ago, we used to see this where you would see vacations slide. I guess now they call that demand moderation.
Ooh.
Demand moderation ahead of the opening of something new, as people just want to experience the news, so they delay a little bit. And also, there's been the new report about Disney parks attendance. There'll be some defense there, but we're looking into that. We've got some questions about it. Jonas, I'm going to give you a strange one, okay? And by the way, we haven't even discussed that apparently they're also thinking about destroying the Muppets, and they're risking a quarter of their entire best asset of the Magic Kingdom. So I mean, that's the kind of week it's been. We didn't even get to
You didn't even get to the paving the rivers of America in with concrete.
I mean, this is earth-shattering. And that they might destroy Liberty Square, like they hate America.
Right.
We haven't even gotten there.
We haven't even had the chance to talk about that one, me and you, because this is all coming so quickly. Even though you and I on the Pro Show, along with Marvin the Movie Monster, very quickly put forward the idea that Liberty Square is not long for this world. So maybe we understand them better than they understand themselves.
What is the worst story that they've had this week, in a week of absolute awful stories? What do you think's been the worst?
Well, I don't know if we want to talk about this one here, but the James O'Keefe story is the absolute worst one.
Okay, can you describe it? This is amazing, folks. We are about 17 minutes into this video, and we are still coming up with new things that have come out this week. You can't keep up, Jonas. We do 3 videos a day on this channel.
Yeah.
You're doing videos over that part. We can't keep up with what's going on. Jonas, can you surmise in a way that YouTube will not get mad at us?
I will try really hard. Internal documents show that Disney was marketing medical procedures that are helping confuse children. Well, the word is affirm, but some would debate about whether it's affirming what's... anyways, Disney was not just paying for, but also making sure that everyone knew in the company that these services were available, not just for the employees of the company, but for the children of the employees of the company, to try to make sure that they had procedures done that, let's say, are medically questionable.
You know, Jonas, we didn't even talk about this. We probably won't talk about this. We're not even going to read it. We're just putting it on the screen for you. It's on thatparkplace.com. You can go see it. It's been a week. So I think the worst thing, Jonas, has been the trying to get out of the wrongful death lawsuit. Listen, they might be completely innocent. I don't know the specifics of, the lawsuit. I just know that if you want to find a way to be considered evil, do what they did in the response. And a close second, gosh, I don't know. The O'Keefe thing's bad. Destroying a quarter of your most important asset in the Magic Kingdom, which could potentially absolutely devastate your stock completely. I just think this company, pride cometh before the fall, but corruption sure will hand it. Yeah, exactly. Pride cometh before the fall, but corruption sure will give it an assist. And they've got plenty of both. Jonas, one final thing that I'd like to end with here, if I could be so, pithy. Boy, did I miss this. Disney CEO Bob Iger returns to D23 for the first time in 5 years. It says Disney CEO Bob Iger greeted a packed Honda Center Friday night to welcome fans from across the globe to the first night of D23. Obviously, this is an article referring to last weekend. Iger said, "I was going to say good evening and thank you for that warm welcome, but that was more than a warm welcome. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, it is just wonderful to be back here at D23, my first time in 5 years, surrounded by you, the biggest Disney fans in the world, and boy, did I miss this."
Yeah.
He received a standing ovation from the people who paid $1,000 to be there.
Yeah, 12,000 people in that auditorium. And let me tell you, they pulled out all the stops there for his entrance. I've seen the footage. There's actually some pretty crystal clear footage out there of D23. He got a huge welcome from that audience. And I just have to think that they are not understanding what's going on, or they just don't care.
Right. Well, it's a manufactured bubble, but the world is now against them. You cannot reach. And this Snow White trailer, this truly is the epitome. This symbolizes everything that Disney is today, and the world is against them. 10-1 negative response. And I think by the way, that if they do what they're going to do at the Magic Kingdom, that will be, and Hollywood Studios too, if they destroy the Muppet Vision thing, those will be Snow White trailer level bad reactions that will last for 30 years. So have at it, Disney. Have at it. Jonas, final word on the week that was the biggest disaster we've ever seen in the history of this company.
Well, at least they got Marvel season in Fortnite. I think there are probably things that we're missing here. Lightning Lane is also a disaster for the company. There are just so many things going on here, and I think they need a change at the top. And I'm saying maybe the top 2 levels of the company need to change. Maybe even that ephemeral board of directors up there at the top needs a change as well. Also, it came out that Nelson Peltz still does own a small percentage of Disney stock, and that's probably where I need to stop from speculating.
I will just speculate to say that I think it's in everyone's best interest at this point if Bob Iger leaves the company, if Dana Walden leaves the company, and if Josh D'Amaro leaves the company. We've heard nice things about Josh behind the scenes, but at some point, you can't preside over the death of your most valuable assets and the death of the legacy of Walt. You can't be the guy. Oh, we didn't mention the family is begging.
Yep.
Walt's family is begging for them not to turn the grandpa into a robot. This company is, my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. Folks, we got to stop. We'll keep coming up with more stuff that on any given week for any normal company would be the worst thing you'd heard. You know, we got to stop.
We could do a tweet thread of just every single thing that's wrong here. This is, of course, you know, not even accounting for the small things like taking out working attractions to replace them with DVC lounges, the kind of things that are obviously indications, or the fact that they struggle to come up with content that is of quality, which is a base level systemic problem. We could keep going. And
okay, here's the way to tackle this, Jonas, to end it. Here's the question for you. If you took away the legacy of the Disney company and the people that currently work at Disney and run Disney, if they were put in charge of just a generic brand new company with all the resources of Disney, but without any of the legacy, none of the old IPs, none of the familiarity that people have, how successful do you think these people would be at running just a blank slate company?
I don't think they would in any way. In fact, I think Skeleton Crew would be a better trailer with more interest in it if it wasn't Star Wars. So, you know, that's another one that no one is interested in Star Wars at this point, which there's another $4 billion.
We agreed not to keep going, Jonas. I mean, we just can't keep we can't keep adding more negative things to this. Man.
You know,
you want to talk about Robot Beaver? I don't know. You want to add the Robot Beaver to it too, Jonas? I can't keep going. So much bad here.
Toy Story 5 is going to be directed by Andrew Stanton. That's a good one. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
All right, folks, that's a wrap. I guess I would say that if you put these people in charge of just a normal company, they drive it absolutely in the ground because they've managed to rip the Disney company out of the Pareto principle. Go look that up, folks. And that's an accomplishment. All right. Well, that's where we've got to end. Jonas, it has been a Herculean task to cover all the disaster, all the trash that is Disney. You've been doing a fantastic job trying to cover it. Although, if they just give us good, we would cover that as well. And we have in the past. We've bragged about them for their box office on Deadpool and Wolverine. We talked about how Inside Out 2 did not go fully woke, and therefore it made tons of money. We gave them praise on X-Men 97 when it merited it. So we've done our best. They have not helped out. But Jonas, you've done a great job. Tell the folks out there about That Park Place, the YouTube channel.
Well, That Park Place has recently gone to 3 a day to try to cover all of the news out of D23. And again,
that's 6 videos, folks. That's 6 videos. That's 3 here and 3 over there. And we can't cover the number of atomically bad things happening out of the company. Sorry.
You're totally right. You're totally right. And we also have a live show where we go over everything as well, and we'll take whatever people throw at us, we try to respond to as well there. And it's just so hard to keep up with all of it. We have been positive about some things. The return of Andrew Stanton, if you want to go watch, there's a video on Toy Story 5, and that is a win. Or Brad Bird coming back to do Incredibles 3.
Huge win.
That's a big deal. There's nothing in Disney animation right now. The fact that they've announced Frozen 3, 4, and also a live action remake, and they're indicating that they're doubling down on Moana. We haven't even covered that one. They're saying they're going to be doing a lot more Moana, which is like, what are you doing, guys?
Well,
but there's more to cover on that park place for all the news that should be fun there. So please go check us out. I think I plus we try to do it in a way that's kind of fun and trying not to be doom and gloom about everything. Not that
this is a rare video we've done today, Jonas, where we just run through the list, but it was needed because of how bad this has been. Normally we try to be a little bit more chipper. And by the way, Moana is going to make $1 billion later this year, but
it better
knowing Disney. Knowing Disney, they're gonna wring that property dry.
But of course, that is because they took a TV show and rushed in 6 months to try to make it into a movie. We've heard this. I've heard the song that Oli Crivallo sang at D23. It doesn't sound bad. It's not especially amazing. The Rock's going to sing again. You could put that in the good or the bad here. But that one right now has 3 directors. None of them have directed a major motion picture before. And at the panel that was discussing how the movie's going to go, all of the directors were pretty quiet while Jared Bush, the screenwriter of the first one, answered most of the questions. So it leaves me with a lot of questions about what the quality of that film is going to be. If it's good, that's great. If it's not good and still makes $1 billion, Disney has a completely different problem on their hands.
Oh yeah, because they'll have wiped out the possibilities and the potentiality of that their most valuable princess brand.
Why we don't want them to just make money checking the box. We want them to have excellence. This company is was capable of excellence, and that seems to be part of their 100-year history, but is maybe no more.
Wowza. All right, folks, we got to wrap. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and tell us what was the most disastrous story following D23 this year. And as you do, remember that this worst week that we've ever covered for Disney came on the heels of them trying to set the table for all the messaging that would go forward for months to come. And this is what we got instead. Standing ovation for Bob might have happened inside the halls that they prepared so well. But in the real world, Bob is facing a very different crowd. All right, folks, we will see you very soon. Until next time, and we promise it'll be happier. Well, we pray. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.